action for you. Thanks for joining us. I'm Kevin Harlan with Clark Kellogg and Greg Anthony and Doris Burke reporting from the sideline. The last time these two teams met, it was the Cleveland Cavaliers picking up the loss in that outing against the Warriors. And that game moved the season series to 2-0.
Yeah, their defense got sliced and diced in that game. They just weren't closing down on perimeter shooters, not nearly quick enough. And then they gave up their fair share of those point-blank shots on the interior as well.
Something was clearly amiss for them, Greg. I mean, to let an opponent shoot that high a percentage, you got to take a real long look in the mirror after a game like that.
And a look at the starters for the Cavaliers. LeBron and Love are the talented pair at the forward position. Kyrie Irving and J.R. Smith at the guard set. And it's Thompson in at the 5 spot. And you think about Stephen Curry, clearly one of the greatest shooters the league has ever seen. Clark, I think you could make a case that he's the best off-the-dribble three-point shooter in league history. What do you think?
I think he's the best total shot-maker shooter we've had in the league. When you look at all aspects of shooting, I don't know if anybody's ever been better.
And it's Thompson with the jam.
And that's how you make a steal count. Turn it into a quick slam at the other end.
It was really a case, it looked like Greg Anthony right there, if I can say so. It was really a case of a great defensive play triggering some instant offense.
Yeah, I remember GA as an irritant, and this guy, much like Greg, creating havoc out there.
And here is Curry following the three-pointer by Kyrie Irving. About a minute and a half through the first quarter. Pass to Love. Three-pointer. Another 3 for Cleveland.
And when you've got a big man who can shoot from distance like that, what a huge advantage.
Here's Curry. Count it. His second make in 4 attempts.
You know, huge height advantage there, but because of the great body control, he's able to cancel it out.
Agreed. The body control essential in that situation. I mean, if you're giving up a bunch of height, then you better be able to manufacture things in the air.
Now here's Green after LeBron James's miss. And it goes out of bounds. Last touch by Green. The Cavaliers have gone 2 of 5 here, making 40% so far to start out the game. James misses.
The defense ready for him on that possession. They had to be because he is so strong in the paint.
Here's the 3, and there's Green on the assist by Thompson. Green's got himself on the board with 3 there.
How in the world did they let him get that wide open?
Irving dishes to Thompson. And here's Love for 3. Tries again, and it's laid up and in by Thompson. Thompson's got his first bucket of the night.
If you battle for the offensive rebound and come up with it, you're guaranteed a high-quality shot on a follow just like he got there.
Barnes can't get it to go. Cavaliers have gotten 3 of 8 shots to fall for them here in the first quarter. The drive by Smith. He goes up again, and Thompson with the nice bucket inside. Thompson's got his second bucket tonight.
And that putback about as easy a bucket as you're going to get.
Exactly what happens when you don't box out, Greg.
Now here is Bogut. He's averaging around 5.5 points a game. And the rejection by James. And so he earns a trip to the line. Officials saw the contact, and he'll shoot 2. LeBron James, by many surveys, and no surprise here, GA, the most popular athlete in America.
I mean, the highest paid player in the league. And you know what? He deserves it. This guy has really carried the mantra as the face of our game, as well as anybody. And I tell you what, people now are starting to acknowledge the guy also delivers when it matters.
Looking at who's out there now for the Warriors. Spates checked in for Bogut. Iguodala comes in for Barnes. And it's Livingston in for Steph Curry.
Boy, he wanted everybody in the building to know who threw that one down.
Hanging on the rim is, I guess, one way to do it.
Yeah, I tell you what, though, you want to make sure you don't get teed up from a situation like that.
Here's Dellavedova following the score by Golden State. James left side. 5 on the clock. And another miss by Cleveland.
And you know, for LeBron, he's blazed a trail as far as his business empire is concerned. He gave his childhood friends a chance to manage his affairs. Many thought it was a huge mistake, but he's doing quite well with the guys that he chose.
Several lead changes going on here in the early portion of this game.
Yeah, but neither team really able to jump ahead.
Yeah, it reminds me of that cameo song, Back and Forth.
And Matthew Dellavedova is going to pick up the foul. That's his first foul. There's a minute 34 left to play in the first. Thompson outside. A three-pointer is right on target. Thompson's got 5 now.
And for LeBron, he said he'd like to be a billionaire. It's his ambition to have an influence that goes beyond the game. And guys, he is certainly on his way.
1:22 left here in the first quarter. Dellavedova, the pass to LeBron. Finds the hole for the second time from the floor. Now 2 for 5.
You know, he'll make you scratch your head and throw your hands up as a defender. I mean, you just don't know how to play him.
Well, LeBron James long considered the greatest player.
They can't guard us on the perimeter. Spread the floor and isolate up top. Spacing, fellas. Spacing.
James Harden all playing well last year. But for my money, there's no better player in the league than King James.
1:14 left here in the opening quarter. Warriors have gone 7 of 11 from the field to begin the game. Livingston kicks to Green. Oh, and there's the one-handed jam.
The lead changes hands once more. There has been no separation between these two teams.
You know, it's made for one heck of an entertaining game. Even when it hasn't been the best basketball being played, it sure has been fun to watch.
Here is Livingston. He had 10 points in the win against Portland. And the Cavaliers pushing it up now. James with it. Pass to Dellavedova. Back to LeBron. And lots of contact there. Missing the shot. He'll shoot 2. And it goes on Draymond Green.
And Iman Shumpert, more athlete than player when he entered the league. 42-inch max vertical, shoulders carved like Michelangelo. But he had a long way to go in terms of his skill set. And you can see that evolution right before your eyes.
Here is Livingston. Still getting warmed up offensively. No buckets yet in the game for him. And Thompson kicks to Green. The three-pointer no good. And stolen by Spates. Not watching the line there. That'll be a backcourt violation. Iguodala against LeBron. Launches a 3. The shot no good.
And he made sure not to just draw the foul.
And Steph Curry, a player within the gym range. He told us about his comfort stretching the floor.
And we're 5-6 feet outside.
I was going to say, Greg, how big must that hoop look to Steph Curry? And tough to guard might be the understatement of the day.
I mean, he is just an insanely great shooter. I mean, arguably, I don't think there's an argument. He's the best shooter in the world. The argument is whether or not he's the best shooter ever. And listen, I can imagine there's very few times that Coach Kerr is not going to allow this splash brother to let her rip.
Well, it's been a tight one so far as we get the second quarter going back here. And from what we've seen so far from the Warriors, how would you grade them?
It's been about the pace. You can see they're going to try to keep this game in the open floor.
Yeah, and you know, it's been a tempo that they like, and they're getting some easy buckets in transition here.
So on the floor for Cleveland, Kyrie Irving is out there with Matthew Dellavedova. Then there's J.R. Smith. Then there's Kevin Love. And it's Thompson in at the 5, roaming the paint. The Cavaliers trail by 5. Clark, some tough offensive sets. They want to turn it around.
Yeah, they need a basket just to regain some momentum here, Kevin.
That doesn't go in either for Irving.
And guys, one thing that we were treated with last year was Steve Kerr's great quotability in post-game interviews and pressers. He said all the right things and deflected praise like a coach who had done it for many years.
Andrew Bogut checked in for Golden State. Barbosa comes in for Klay Thompson. The shot's good from Irving.
And when he gets in his head that he's going to get to the basket, very little you can do defensively.
I didn't think that was going to go in. Curry's got the lead up to 5 now for the Warriors. And Curry is so good with the media because, Greg, he was a media member himself for so long. You know that as well as anybody. Clark, I don't think he ever tried his hand at broadcasting, though. I can't see him doing that. Could you?
Yeah, right,
No.
right, right. Yeah, he probably just thrown on as a broadcaster and would rarely contribute anything of note. Some guys have what it takes to call games, and Steve just doesn't quite scratch me as that kind of guy.
No. Here's Smith, and down it goes, jamming that one home.
Now, this is why the breakaway rim was invented, for plays just like that.
Well, he almost brought the whole thing down, Clark, by hanging on that long.
Yeah, he did.
I tell you what, though, great dunk, and this is even a better game we got going on right now.
All right, well, look at how the hustle game has been going for Cleveland.
They've come out in attack mode on the defensive end. They've applied pressure and forcing turnovers.
They've gotten their fair share of points off turnovers so far tonight, too.
Irving with the ball, and Curry picks him up defensively. Here's Dellavedova. He hasn't yet put up any points in this one. Smith for 3. That one's a miss. His third shot of the game. He's made one of them. And there's Barbosa. That's good on the assist by Curry. And the Warriors lead by 2.
I'll tell you what, the defenders didn't even get a sniff of him on that move to the hoop.
Early on last year, it was clear Steph Curry was just on another level. Was an MVP candidate right from the start of the season, and he would eventually be voted that award.
And I thought very deserving. You could see how he elevated his play, and so many of us, and so much talk focuses on what he does offensively. But he was ahead of the snake of a terrific defensive group for Golden State a season ago, and that's one reason why he ended up being the MVP.
And there's the call on Kyrie Irving. That's his first foul. Draymond Green, he's checked in for the Warriors. Ian Clark comes in for Curry. Cleveland also making some changes. Mozgov, he's checked in for Thompson. Fry comes in for Kevin Love. And it's Iman Shumpert in for J.R. Smith. Here's Rush. Just 5 to shoot. And again, no good by Golden State.
You know, even though he missed that one, great shooters have a way of feeling when they've got enough room to pull the trigger.
No doubt about it. The defense, you can see him exhaling right now. Fortunate that he didn't knock that one down.
Here's Clark, following the basket by LeBron James. Outside, Green. Rush dishes to Clark. Here's Rush, guarded by Shumpert. Rush the pass to Clark. Here's Spates. It's rebounded by Cleveland. They are coming off that win against Atlanta.
How about the athleticism on display defensively in that win?
Yeah, it was reflected in their shot block total, Greg. I mean, they were very disruptive, which I think is a combination of hustle and muscle.
Now here's James. He had a 21-point outing in their last game against Atlanta.
But his passing just blew me away. I mean, to see him operate their offense that way was a breath of fresh air.
Now Cleveland moving it up. Shumpert with the ball. Shoots from 12. And it's Spates with the rebound.
This shot's just, it's not there right now. With his team leading, perhaps, you know, let's focus on some other areas of the game. And it doesn't really matter who starts the break with how he runs the floor. He seems to always be the one who finishes.
Yeah, he is so fun to watch and how he attacks the rim at full speed like that. Hey, it's something to behold the way that guy gets to the rim.
Another foul would give him 3 before the half. Something to keep an eye on, guys.
Catching up on the changes for Golden State. Festus Ezeli, he's checked in for Spates. Thompson comes in for Brandon Rush. And it's Livingston in for Leandro Barbosa. There's 48 seconds left to play in the first half. And there's a whistle that goes on Iman Shumpert. That's his first foul. Here is Livingston, covered by Irving. A shot by Thompson, and no one's around. That drops, and it comes off the assist from Livingston. Clarkie talked about a back-and-forth game. This